Uzbekistan, Netherlands, Poland, Ukraine, France and Ireland.
So we get to hear who the crews are, and Uzbeki athletes over there closest to us: Otabek, Kuchikorov and Firuza Buriboeva in the bows of the Uzbeki double. Corner de Koning, familiar features, just turning round there, and his partner, his new partner, Chantal Hanin, former world champion handbiker, up in the bows. Mike Godowski just leaning down to adjust his pace coach, and Jolanta Majka behind him in the bows. Here are those fast Ukrainians, Yaroslav Kuda and Svetlana Bohuslavska behind him in the bow seat. The familiar features of Stéphane Tardieu and Pierre Bouge behind him. Tardieu just talking to himself. Here's Katie O'Brien in the stroke seat of that double, and Stephen McGowan behind her.
Ireland, attention.
Yeah, a number of these athletes doubling up, racing in the single as well as the double. This is the big one today, as we see a pretty even start right across the field. If you haven't watched that much rowing before, we're likely to see the faster crews towards the centre of the field, but that's not always the case. That's just the way they've qualified. So lanes 3 and 4, the favoured crew. As we look here, the Ukrainians, and have the Polish alongside them in the centre 2 lanes.
And if you're wondering what classification is relevant to these rowers as the poles lead out, it's for rowers who have functional use of the trunk movement and who are unable to use the sliding seat to propel the boat because of significantly weakened function or mobility of the lower limbs. And you'll see a number of different abilities in the boats that are racing today, as the Netherlands, Corner de Koning, really smacking it through.
Yeah, Corner de Koning, he's in the stroke seat on the left of that boat from the Netherlands. Again, we saw a fantastic performance from him yesterday in the single scull. Now he's teamed up in this double.
And just moving into the lead at this early stage, the Dutch, one of the absolute race favourites. But a great performance. They were a little bit slower out of the start from Uzbekistan in lane 1, and perhaps they are even pushing their bow up into the lead alongside Poland. And the Dutch just struggling to match the pace of those two crews, but still a long way to go in this race.
Yeah, Buriboeva and Kuchikorov run really long, getting right round the front, right out to the front end. Round, there's no rotation in sculling. Straight up and down the boat with 2 blades. And, they are well in the hunt at the first 500-metre mark.
So we've got this fixed camera on the first 500, and I'm actually quite interested in the recovery almost that the Ukrainians have made. I thought they were a little bit dropped in the early phase of the race, but they're now back pretty much sat in the middle of the field there as we take a look now with the Polish. They were 3rd European Championships. Here we see them at the moment leading this one. Just got their bow back in front now as Uzbekistan have made that move, but Ukraine coming with them.
As we see Poland just leading over this crew from Ukraine. The Poles were 6th in Tokyo at the Paralympics last year. As you said, Greg, bronze at the European Championships just a few weeks ago in Munich. Really looking to take this race here in the second quarter. The crew from Uzbekistan, they were 11th in Tokyo at the Paralympic Games last year, so fantastic to really step on this year and work their way into the A final at this World Championship as we look at this new duo from the Netherlands.
Yeah, you can see that Chantal Hanning there in the bow seat lost both legs as the result of an accident. The 25-year-old come into this boat, and she's relatively new to the sport of rowing this year, just, you know, throwing her body forward to get the most reach she can. And the blade's a little bit deep, but effective out of the front of the course. Ukraine will expect them to move through the poles if the European Championships are anything to go by, and the French to come through on this near side, but yet to be making a move.
Yeah, the Ukrainians aren't unfamiliar with being behind and then rowing through crews. We've seen that earlier on in the regatta, not always the fastest starting, but yeah, European Championship champions from Ukraine working their way up here as we're coming towards the halfway mark.
Yeah, and it's worth saying the Ukrainians will have been training with the French, I guess, in Nancy, the French Paralympic Training Centre, as Poland go through the 1,000 in front, Ukraine in second place. And then it is the French in third, ahead of the Uzbeki double. Expect the French to get quicker as the course unwinds.
Yeah, Ukrainians still moving, aren't they? Looking here, stroke rates there at 38 strokes a minute, Poland 37 strokes a minute. But it's just they're getting a little bit more out of each stroke by the look of that length we can see them getting.
There's the 1,000-metre Cineflex camera. We'll be getting shots like that from that camera. See Stéphane Tardieu there, the 52-year-old French strokeman from Aviron Bayonnais.
And a good move there from the Dutch over on the far side to start to reel in the French and work their way potentially into medal contention. But the fight going out on the front of the field with Ukraine moving through Poland, now about half a length.
And you can't really see them in our picture, but the Irish are over here, and they're more or less side by side with the Uzbeki double in lane number 1. So boat number 6 is still in the hunt here, but they are currently just in 6th place.
And we saw a great race from Katie O'Brien yesterday to take the win there in the stroke seat of this Irish double, taking the win in the PR2 women's single scull over Kat Ross from Australia.
There's the tape round the looms of the blade, just indicating to the athletes that you don't want to go too deep in terms of the depth of the blades during the drive phase. You see those Ukrainians there, nice flat drive, nice loose shoulders at the front ends.
Yeah, like you say, that flat drive ensures the blades stay at the same depth, which the Ukrainians are doing pretty well there. Sometimes we see some of the other sculls in this event going a little bit deeper or a bit shallower. They have that really nice placement connection, and then they keep it flat so they get the maximum distance per stroke.
And the French have just been able to hold off that challenge that came from the Dutch in the earlier part of that race, pushing themselves back firmly into the bronze medal position by about half a boat length.
Yeah, nice push off the finish for the French. Not quite as long out the front end, but they've got a really decent back end. Here's the Polish crew in second place, Jolanta Majka and Mike Godowski. The Netherlands are really pushing for all their worth on the far side. A lot of work going down in that Dutch double to try and force their way back on the French.
Well, the crew's coming up here towards those red buoys, which will mark the last 250. Ukraine looking pretty solid here in first place. I just wonder whether the French can pick the rate up. They're at 36 strokes a minute. Poland are at 37. Whether they can come back. It's about 9 meters the gap. They're in those red buoys now. Poland looking pretty secure for that silver medal. I just wonder whether anything can come now from this French pair.
Yeah, this has been a big turnaround for the Poles. They really went out hard, reversing the result here from the European Championships. Ukraine, they're European champions, and they're coming down. And I think they're going to be world champions if they can keep doing this. But the Poles reversing that result with the French in silver position. But here come the French. They're stepping up the rate. The French, they're on 36 strokes a minute. Ukraine on 40. Poland on 37. Can they hold the French off as they come down to the line?
Still yet to pass our commentary position. There are Boslavska and Kuda just digging in for everything as they approach the line. Just another 3 or 4 strokes to go. It is Ukraine who will win the first gold medal of this afternoon's programme at the 2022 World Rowing Championship. Poland take the silver medal. France third. That's the PR2 mixed double sculls medalists for you. Netherlands, well, they made such a brave race, the Netherlands. In 4th place, Ireland in 5th, and Uzbekistan in 6th. The quality of the field really close up.
And you can see how hard they've worked in that Ukraine double. Great result they got for it. Wow, I can only imagine how much it hurts. Those arms, shoulders and backs to complete the course as they have.
El Bou's just lying down in the boat there. You get these slow-mo replays, good look at the athletes. See that body rock off the start.
And there you can really see it at the end as well, that they keep that body rock almost even longer at the finish once they really get up to length. Sort of maximise the distance they get per stroke there. So confirmation there, the gold medal for the Ukrainian double ahead of Poland and France. We'll be seeing them later on the medal podium.
Ukraine.